The Switch.
Welcome back. You're watching The Switch live on K24. So, hapa, and we have a special show for you. We're talking about suicide prevention, mental health, all that. We have Mercy Mueni with us. Mercy, mambo? Umetuachilia?
Niko area.
Hey, umetuachilia ama ulienda Nigeria? Naona umerudi. Umerepresent wa Nigeria. Like 2 weeks ago tulikuwa na Emmy Kosgei hapa.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Na hapo mnge blend na yeye vizuri because you
next
look the part.
Next time collab.
But you're well?
I'm well.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We also have Sheila Lugaliki. Sheila Lugaliki is a lived experience and mental health advocate. Mambo vipi?
Kwa sana.
Uko salama?
Niko salama. Nashukuru.
Asante. What does a lived experience, ukisema lived experience, what does that mean?
It means you're living with a mental illness. You have a mental illness that you're managing. Yeah, so personally I do have a mental illness that I'm managing day to day. So take meds, psychotherapy, and we keep it moving.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sheila will be sharing with us her story in a few, but Mercy, statistics, you're in the field every day. Wewe unaona watu wako na mental health issues. Specifically when you talk about suicide. How are the numbers?
They're very high. They're very high, and unfortunately the ones that get to be reported are, you can say, like 1%.
Wow.
Yes.
So many people are committing suicide, but not...
Very many people, of all ages, of all socioeconomic status, of all socio-political status. There's no choosing here. People are really committing suicide. Some are more prone than others, but the numbers are quite high than ever before.
Wow.
Hardly do I get 2 days that pass by without getting that distress call.
What?
Yes.
I mean, when you say many go unreported, is it that there's people don't want to speak? For example, if you lose a friend, you don't want to say that he passed through suicide. Is it that tunaficha, or what is it about?
I believe
the stigma towards people who, but I was shocked that tumesema you're living with a mental health issue. Shida yangu, swali yangu ni, mimi naweza sema hivyo, si watu watanibeba vibaya, si watu watanichukulia, but you're bold and proud enough to say I'm living with this. Is there a phobia, is there a, stigma towards people who have mental health issues?
A lot of stigma, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt among family members, and even the person who is unwell will also start feeling some sense of shame and guilt, because there is a misconception that mental illnesses are a personal failure. They are not. You are not a failure because you have a mental illness. Ni ugonjwa kama ule ugonjwa mwingine. A sickness like any other. And so, let me ask you, Soxy, I like asking you questions.
Yes.
Since you grew up and you started reading the newspapers, whichever newspaper, and there's that page inakuanga na a lot of photos.
The back page uko.
Ile watu wale wameenda zao. Sijui ni kwenda zao ama wanaenda wapi?
Wanaitwa wenda zetu.
Wenda
zao. Tuseme ni wenda zao.
Those ones. Have you ever read one that is written, they died by suicide?
No, imagine no.
What does that tell you?
That we are ashamed to admit that a loved one died through suicide.
Do you know we even go to the extent of covering up? We say it was a heart attack. We say it was asthma attack. Those things which we know can just take somebody away abruptly. Or we say the person has been battling a long illness.
And if we make it, do you think if we make it a sickness like any other, it would help us address the issue from the root cause? Do you think so?
Of course, yes. By far. We should let people know that having suicidal thoughts is like having a cough. When you have pneumonia, or when you have COVID, or when you have a flu, you have a running nose. That's a symptom that you have. If you are sneezing, I'll be like, if you're coughing, I'll be like, uko na homa? Suicidal thoughts and even ideations or attempts, it's a symptom of a sickness, a mental sickness.
That can be treated.
That can be treated. And the funniest thing is this. Those who are more prone to suicidal ideations and thoughts and attempts, they are the ones who have a mental illness which can be treated and gone. It's not every mental illness that comes and stays and it stays, like chronic, like for a lifetime. No. Unless there is a genetic reason. Maybe the reason why someone is depressed is because it's in their genetic, in their genes. For example, depression. If depression is caused by lack of money, lack of employment, marital issues, even brain chemical imbalances, imagine 6 months and you should be free of depression.
Wow.
But most people don't know that. I always encounter patients who come and they say, I have depression. How long have you been taking medicine? 3.5 years. And I'm like, okay.
So that's not depression.
It is depression that is not going away. And why is it not going away? Because maybe you've been taking the medicine, but you're not getting to the root cause of it.
Okay.
All right? And very few people have the depression which is genetic predisposed. Most of the depression around, it is as a result of environmental and social factors. However, we have other conditions, such as bipolar mood disorder.
Yes.
Mood, any condition that is under the category of mood disorders. You know, let me say something very briefly. The way we have respiratory conditions like asthma, pneumonia, COVID, those are for the respiratory system. Then we have others for the circulatory system, then others for the digestive system, such as amoeba, typhoid, H. pylori, the ones that attack your digestive system. Now, you need to understand that when we talk about mental health, it falls under the nervous system. And under that, we have many types of conditions. So we categorize them like mood disorders, then we have phobic disorders or anxiety disorders, and then we have the psychotic disorders, then we have neurodevelopmental disorders. So it's not like only one condition. I see people afraid of coming for treatment because we have this misconception that as long as umeambiwa uko na ugonjwa wa kiakili, unafikiria dawa ni moja tu. No. And because you saw a neighbor given medicine, because they had symptoms like yours, and they appeared to present after the starting of medicine, they started to be looking somehow. You say, niliona kazini yangu alikunywa dawa akaanza kufanana hivyo. Nani amekuambia ile ugonjwa uko nayo ni ile kazini yako alikuwa nayo?
That's true.
So the sicknesses are many under mental disorders. There are very many.
Okay.
But the ones who have mood disorders, any condition falling under mood disorder, they are the ones who are more prone to suicidal thoughts, ideations, and attempts. However, we have another condition that many people don't know it's a condition. It is called alcoholism. Addiction.
That's
Addiction with specification to substance addiction. And more so alcohol. Hiyo kitu huenda inabadilisha brain chemicals za mzee. Jamaa anakuwa mahali anafaa kuwa anaona pink, anaona yellow. So mafikira yake pia yanabadilika. Hata kama anafaa kuwa na furaha, hafurahi. So alcoholism is a mental disease. And guess what? Imagine it can be treated. There comes a point whereby you don't just need to quit. Quitting is not enough. You have to go and get treated for us to reverse your brain chemicals. Because zile chemicals zilikuwa kwa pombe zilienda zikachanganyika na zile chemical mzuri za brain, zikatengeneza concoction nyingine. Sasa hata ukiacha kukunywa pombe. And this one I want everyone to hear me very well. So kisi ulipozaliwa ulikuwa 2.5 or 8 kgs. And then ukaanza kukula, ukanyonya and then ukakula. Now, Unaangalia unakula sahani ama kikombe ya uji 300 ml. Unatwanga unamaliza. Lakini ingine inatoka. Kidogo sana, maybe even 5 ml ndio inabaki kwa mwili. Sasa hiyo kidogo kidogo inakaa ikipile up ndio inakupatia body growth.
Ndio.
The same with alcohol. And that's why many people don't understand how they get addicted. Hiyo kidogo umekuwa ukikunywa ama hiyo nyingi umekuwa ukikunywa, unachapa ile mnaitanga mzinga. Ile 750 ml ni sawa, 700 itatoka ama hata 730 ml itatoka.
Kadogo
lakini kuna 20 ml
inaabsorbiwa,
inabaki. Na ujue hiyo haiendi kwa roho, haiendi kwa maini, haiendi wapi? Inaenda wapi?
Kwa akili.
Ina mix na chemicals za brain. So over a long period of time, unapata msee amekuwa addicted na brain chemicals zake zimebadilika sana. Sasa huyo mtu ako very prone to suicidal thoughts and ideations. Unapata msee amesucceed kabisa kwa life. Anaendesha Range Rover kubwa. Ana job poa kabisa. Ako na wife, ako na watoi, ako sawa, lakini anaamka siku moja ana commit suicide.
Wow.
You wonder what is it? Because the brain chemicals changed. And when they change, they change how you perceive the world, how you think, and how you feel.
Right. We talk about suicide and we have Sheila with us, who's gone through, you've gone through it all and overcome. Share with us your story.
What she said, suicidal thoughts and ideation. I struggle with suicidal ideation. Nilianza kitambo sana. It's something I couldn't say. Nilianza nikiwa kazini. That is back in 2015.
How old were you then?
I was
wewe msicalculated yake nyinyi.
Mbona unataka kuni?
Ndio nimeshindwa. Okay, sema between this age and this age nimeona watu watakucalculate.
Around mid 20s there. So I'd always ni kama kufikiria, ukitembea kwa njia unaangalia gari unajiuliza sasa nikiruka will I just die ama nitavunjika? So you keep on, you think about death a lot.
And let me ask, at that point ni mashida ulikuwa nazo? Were things working out for you?
They were working out very well. I had a very good job. And the work environment in that office, it's one of the best I've worked with. It was a very good family kazini. I've never gotten a better place than that one. Na hapo ndio penye ilianza. Unatembea
tu una feel tu hii gari ni gonge.
Unafikiria tu kiwa kwa building unashangaa sasa nikiruka tavunjika miguu, will I really die? So ni kama will I say fantasizing those things. So it kept on going on for a while. You cannot, siwezi kuja nikwambie so mimi nafikiria about this. Of course you look at me and wonder what's wrong with this one. So I kept that to myself. Hiyo ni kitu yenye none of my family members walijua, even friends. Vile they came to realize much later, they couldn't believe it. Kwa sababu nilikuwa niko sawa na wao. But those thoughts were there. I did not actualize, I did not act on them, but they have plagued me for a very long time.
And during those moments, what are some of the changes or some of the things you did that maybe at that point were telltale signs that kuna kitu haiko wrong, ile watu wangeona waone hapa kuna kitu haiko wrong, maybe mabeste wako wangeona, mafamilia, kuna vitu ulikuwa unafanya different?
Sasa that's the problem. I think nilikuwa nimekuja nimefika place, it appears like it's my personality. Sasa nilikuwa I would get to a point na withdraw. So unajua watasema sometimes Sheila uko hivi. Inafika tu time anaamua kujifungia, haongei na watu.
Unajifungia tu kwa nyumba?
Anajifungia tu kwa nyumba.
Unashika simu ama ushiki?
Staki.
Hautaki kuongea na mtu na simu?
Staki kuongea na mtu. Utapiga simu na iangalia hivi.
Na uko alone kwa nyumba?
Hata kutext utanitumia message nitaisoma na nitalenga.
Sasa hizo kuna mtu amekukosea?
Hakuna. And the worst bit was when I got to the worst place, nilikataa kushika za familia.
Hata familia?
Kabisa. Hata familia.
Like your parents will call you and you ignore?
I do not pick. Natumiwa message, I got to a point sikuwa nasoma messages. WhatsApp group, nitaona our family group messages zimetumwa sisomi. Around saa 6 saa 8 usiku, nitafungua the WhatsApp chats. Ile you don't read, you need to until chini, hizo notifications zitoke. And that's it.
Na by then your folks, your family, maybe walikuwa wasema, anakuanga tu hivyo.
Wanashangaa huyu mtoto na yeye. Especially my parents. They were really worried. Because they were wondering, huyu mtoto wetu, she's grown up akiwa sawa. Mimi growing up sikuwa na hizi nini sana. But in campus, I was told now, going back, after my diagnosis, going back ndio nikaambiwa, my friend, aliniambia nilikuwa nafika place, yani sitaki kabisa in campus. But I became aware vile nilianza kazi. Mimi mwenyewe become aware, I withdraw. Na nitanyamaza tu, na uzanikosea.
Na uta withdraw for how long? Like for how long?
Sometimes it could go for 3 weeks. The longest went for 8 months. So that one was...
Umejifungia tu kwa nyumba?
Yeah, nimejifungia, sitaki kutoka, sitaki kuongea na mtu.
Are you eating?
Yeah, I'm eating. Now, when I go to places where I'm not eating ni wakati nilikuwa depressed. I cannot eat, you don't want to shower, hautaki kuongea na mtu, hautaki light. Ilikuwa inafika around 4 am nakasirika because now kuna kucha. I have to face sunlight ndio hiyo. Mimi nyumba yangu haina blackout curtains. So the light will come in. Na mimi sitaki hiyo light. I just want to be in a dark place na nisisumbuliwe. Nikuwe tu hapo peke yangu.
And saa zile uko kwa room peke yako, what is going through your mind? What are you doing? Are you in bed, covered up? Are you watching TV? You know, are you reading a book?
So my experience, I'd talk about the one that happened in 2022. Nilijifungia, I'd cry hours on end. So kisi ukiniuliza, Sheila unalia nini? Nitakwambia hata mimi sijui nalia nini. But I'm just crying. And that thing, unajua ile kitu kushika hapa? Haishi. Ile unalia, unapumzika.
Inarudi tena.
Inarudi. So ilikuwa a cycle. Unaendelea. I want to sleep, usingizi hakuna. And that time sasa akili yangu inaanza kuniambia, what's the point? What's the purpose of this life? Ni nini una hold on? Like your family will mourn you a few days and they'll move on. So those thoughts, it can be a very dark place. It gets very dark. You get those thoughts unaishi kujiambia, I'd rather just, let me call it a day. Mimi niendelee. And the way I would think, na nilikuwa naji-question sana. Like God niambie, why did I come here? Mimi nilizaliwa, niende shule, nipate kazi, get married, get kids, then die. If that is the plan you had for me, really, is it really the point? So when I start asking those questions, now it becomes more deeper. Pronounced. It becomes deeper. Inaendelea kuniambia it is true. Sasa ni nini? What's the purpose? Nini unafanya? There's no point.
Na niulize, by then you've talked about family. You've talked about friends. Sorry to ask this, but did you have a boyfriend? Like someone who was close to you? And how was that relationship? The reason I'm asking this is because I want you now to look back and tell us, how could they, if you had, how could they have supported you better? What could they have done? Did you have a boyfriend? And how did you relate with them during those moments that unajifungia unanyamazia watu?
Yes, I did. And at that point, he was the only one I could talk to. My sisters tried to get to me through him, but I'll not still talk to them. Ningekataa. So niye peke yake nilikuwa naongea naye, and both of us didn't know what is going on. That is before 2022. Both of us didn't know what was going on. So we were both clueless. The best he could support me is be there for me.
And were you pushing him away also?
No, for him, I didn't push him away. I didn't push him away. He will be there. You know, now he's asking me what's the problem, and then I'd say, I don't see the purpose of this life. Mi sioni purpose ni nini. I'd rather just die. I don't see the point. And then he'd be like, no, do not say that. You know, just the normal things zenye your partner anaweza kuambia.
I love you.
Yes.
I'm still here for
you.
Yeah.
Those ones. But then, I don't know. I'd say whatever grounded me, my parents, I'd wonder what pain will I cause them. And sometimes My nieces and nephews. I'm a last born, so we have, and it's a big family, so there are many children. I'd say, what will my siblings tell their kids?
We'll take a short break. When you come back, I want you to tell us how you are able to, how did you get to your end? What happened to that?
Yes.
Alafu Mercy, take us through maybe different age groups, you know, and how they deal with this condition. And also maybe, do all mental illness lead to suicide? You know, how do we overcome now? Just how do we become better people? We'll take a short break. You're watching The Switch live on K24. I have Mercy and Sheila with me, and if you have any question for them, if you're going through this situation even right now, and you need maybe to talk to Mercy or Sheila, they're here with us for a couple of minutes still. So rusha pale swali kwenye WhatsApp, the number will be on your screen. You can also call us live, the number will also be on your screen. Today we're talking about suicide and basically how to overcome and improve our mental health. We'll be back. You're watching The Switch live on K24.
The Switch.